welcome back to Movie Twister. In a few seconds, you'll find out what Santa Claus can do to save the day after a team of elite mercenaries breaks into a wealthy family compound on Christmas Eve, taking everyone inside hostage. On the evening before Christmas, there is a strong possibility that Santa Claus will be found drinking in a bar in Bristol. While there, he has a profound conversation with a Santa who works in a shopping mall about how young people have become more focused on material items and have begun to lose their Christmas spirit. The topic of the conversation was how young people have become more preoccupied with material things. He expresses his worry that this pattern will not change in the future. Before departing in his sleigh, pulled out of the parking lot by his reindeer, he charms and surprises the bartender, Ben, while they are flying through the air on Santa's sleigh. He throws up all over her. Almost immediately after that, he leaves in his sleigh, which his reindeer pull behind. After that, there is not a single scrap of evidence pointing to his existence. Gertrude, Jason's wealthy and arrogant mother, resides in a home in the countryside. Her son Jason, his divorced wife Linda, and their daughter Trudy travel there to visit her and celebrate Christmas at the luxurious home. The prosperous family business has provided funding so the Lightstone family can enjoy Christmas in the luxurious home of Jason Lightstone's mother, Gertrude, to spend the holiday in the opulent mansion that belonged to Jason Lightstone's affluent mother. They are joined by Jason's sister Alva, who is intoxicated from drinking, her new partner, a man named Morgan Steele, who aspires to be an action star, and Gertrude, Jason's sister Alva's child. When Jason realized he had not taken Trudy to the shopping center to see Santa, he immediately called Linda to apologize and begged her forgiveness. He asks Gertrude's forgiveness by proposing resigning from his employee position and cutting off all ties to his time while working at the company. After finding an old walkie-talkie, he gives it to Trudy with the promise that, so long as she takes care of it, she will be able to speak to Santa with it. A group of mercenaries led by a man called Mr. Scrooge, who goes under the code name Christmas, kidnap the Lightstone family when Santa Claus arrives at their mansion to deliver gifts. This revelation occurs when the mercenaries use Christmas code names. Santa Claus must be made aware that some of the people working in the culinary crew and the servants are members of the mercenary squad. Because they are all using Christmas code names, Santa Claus cannot help the family and save them from the mercenaries pursuing them. Santa Claus gets into a fist fight with one of the evil people, and as the fight goes on, the bad guy starts discharging his gun, which scares the reindeer and forces them to run away. By using a string of Christmas lights to lure the burglar out of the window, where he is subsequently impaled on an icicle decoration placed outside, Santa Claus unknowingly brings about the demise of the thief responsible for the theft of the presents. The thief gets put to death in this manner as a result of Santa Claus's actions. Santa Claus eventually ends the life of a second criminal by stabbing him in the eye with a tree topper. After that, he kills the thug by using the electricity from the plug to electrocute the tree topper, which he previously plugged in. In the course of the narrative, this is Santa's second murder. Santa made a mistake while using the walkie-talkie that the henchman had given him, so he accidentally turned it into Trudy's channel. When he finds out that Trudy is on his side, he realizes that it is in his best interest to assist Trudy in escaping the predicament in which they are currently found. He discovers that he has already added every mercenary to his list of individuals to watch out for when he gets to the other side. During the night, it becomes clear that Mr. Scrooge is on the hunt for the $300 million that Gertrude took from him and concealed in the vault of the mansion. This money was supposed to be sent to the Lightstone firm to transport oil to the Middle East. This money is essential to Mr. Scrooge because Gertrude took it and hid it in the vault rather than in Lightstone's possession. Mr. Scrooge is trying to raise money because he believes that he will be able to further his financial interests by doing so. Because of this, he is adamant about acquiring it for himself, which is why, after finding Trudy's walkie-talkie, Jason and Linda try to persuade the mercenaries that Trudy's acts are nothing more than a game of make-believe once they possess the device. This occurrence occurs once the walkie-talkie's whereabouts have been uncovered in the previous step. After Jason disabuses her of the notion that Santa Claus is a natural person, she runs away and hides in the basement. Before it, she had already rejected his offer that they travel across time with them in the past. He recommended that they go ahead and do that. Jason's idea was for the two to travel there, and she is pretty upset with him. During their conversation on the walkie-talkie, Santa confesses that before his incarnation as Santa Claus, he was a Viking warrior, which explains why Santa was acting so upset, as well as the dialogue taking place over the walkie-talkie. In addition, Santa reveals that in a previous life, he lived the life of a strong Viking warrior. The information was provided by Santa's little helpers, the elves. He shows her his sincerity and offers evidence by ensuring she knows the letters she had previously written to him. Because Scrooge's father lost his job when he was a child, the holiday season was never a happy time for him, which is one of the contributing elements that led to Scrooge becoming a miser. Consequently, Scrooge is resolved to make Christmas miserable for everyone. He has Santa under his grasp and is prepared to do so. Santa Claus is currently being held captive in Scrooge's home by Scrooge himself. Scrooge is successful in his plan to kidnap Santa and demand ransom in exchange for his release. He had every intention of breaking into a house to steal some presents, but he unknowingly contributed to the passing of an older man. It was due to his actions that the other man passed away. Before escaping through the chimney, Santa Claus reveals to Scrooge and his two minions that he knows their identity. Gingerbread and Candy Cane are the names of Scrooge's minions. This news shocks Scrooge and his two companions. Gertrude's assassination squad, which he dispatched to Scrooge's estate, shows up, but he pays for their services. Morgan's demise can be traced back to this particular chain of events. Thorpe, who is in charge of the group, is the one who opens the vault, only to discover that none of the items it was supposed to contain is within. Only Gertrude is unsurprised by Jason's admission that he had stolen the money and was planning to depart with Linda and Trudy. Gertrude was not shocked to hear this confession from Jason. This information was given to Gertrude by Jason as a gift, which she was forced to open by Scrooge's main henchman Krampus, but acknowledged as part of a Lightstone rite of passage ceremony. Gertrude found out about this information via the gift. When Jason reveals that he stole the money and was getting ready to depart with Linda and Trudy while simultaneously holding a gun to his head of Linda, everyone is shocked except Gertrude. During his escape from his pursuers, Santa finds a hammer in a tool shed. Therefore, he can protect himself. After regaining his vigor, he went on a killing spree against the Death Squad members before rushing to help Trudy. Because of this, Gingerbread winds up losing his life when he is struck on the head by a bowling ball, which causes a nail to become lodged in his skull and ultimately results in his death. Candy Cane can escape being captured by her traps, and she immediately moves in for the kill on Trudy. However, Santa Claus arrives just in time to save Trudy, and in the process, he ends up killing Candy Cane. Scrooge and Commander Thorpe are the ones that lead the Cratchit family out into the cold night air. They do this to test their mettle. Scrooge successfully attempts to convince Jason to hand over the money, but he does not change his mind about carrying out his plan to kill the family in any way. When it is discovered that Santa Claus has arrived, Scrooge, Commander Thorpe, and the other troops are compelled to leave the scene. After losing in the woods, Santa Claus eventually makes his way into an abandoned cabin where Scrooge has taken sanctuary. Then after seeing the list, Scrooge is led to believe that Santa is genuine. Nonetheless, he does not intend to change his mind about his goal of destroying Christmas by getting rid of Santa. Scrooge can acquire the upper hand in the fight. However, Santa Claus arrives from the cabin's chimney and executes Scrooge by dismembering him after gaining the upper hand. A bullet fired by Commander Thorpe strikes Santa, but Gertrude quickly eliminates him from the competition, ending Santa's participation in the conflict. As a result of the injuries he experienced, Santa Claus is unable to survive, and, as a result, he passes away. When Trudy's family is finally persuaded that there is a Santa Claus, Trudy goes to extraordinary measures, even going so far as to burn $500,000 worth of paper money to keep Santa's corpse warm. Despite their early lack of faith, Trudy successfully converted her family to the Christmas tradition of believing in Santa Claus. The tale is resolved with Santa Claus being brought back to life, a turn of events that surprises the family and Santa himself. Before continuing his journey, Santa says his goodbyes to Trudy after ensuring that the reindeer's care is in the hands of reliable individuals. After that, he will accomplish his goal by delivering all the presents to the individuals designated to receive them in their respective packages, which will bring the mission to a successful conclusion. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so that you may watch more videos like this one. We are grateful that you are watching.